The state's powerful Assembly Speaker got even more powerful this past November, netting seats in the Assembly and getting Republicans close to a supermajority in that chamber. But what's ahead for Robin Vos? Political reporter Will Keneally reports from the Capitol.
Now with a record-setting budget surplus on the horizon, we sat down with Speaker Vos to talk with him about what his priorities are for this next session.
I want to work on ways to make government not just kind of protecting the status quo.
That's one of the big themes Assembly Speaker Robin Vos wants to take to the new year. Part of it is driving the state forward, but also not letting it slip behind.
What I want is when somebody decides to retire and they have a little bit of money saved up for their retirement, that they don't figure out if they should be in Tennessee, Texas, or Arizona, or Florida because the taxes are cheaper.
Republicans are really in the driver's seat this spring when the legislature writes the budget. Vos is wary of pushing for a flat tax, but expects some sort of tax relief to make it in.
I heard Governor Evers say he's probably not going to support that, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on negotiating something that's not likely. But the idea of having a tax cut that's at least, if not significantly bigger than the last tax cut, should be something we can all agree on.
Whatever Republicans put together for the budget faces a possible veto from the governor. That said, Vos picked up a few seats in the Assembly, pushing Republicans close to a veto-proof majority. Flip a few Democrats and Vos gets that majority. You don't see that happen often, but it did back in 2017 to pass Foxconn-related bills.
Many of the people who are left come from kind of a hardcore Dem area. So I think it's unlikely, but it's not impossible, but I think it's unlikely that they would break with their party.
And Vos himself has faced some dissent from his own party. Representative Janelle Brandtjen joined former President Donald Trump in endorsing Vos's primary opponent this past summer.
What I've learned about politics is that there are people who bluster a lot, and there are people who actually want to accomplish things.
He doesn't see much appetite for that anymore, whether it's Brandtjen or the former president.
I think Representative Brandtjen has clearly put herself in the bombastic Trump style. Not a lot of accomplishments in Madison, an awful lot of bluster.
That's our sit-down with Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. You can also find our interview with Governor Tony Evers and the Assembly Democratic leader up online at channel3000.com. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Next year's legislative session will start when lawmakers are inaugurated January 3rd.